Gil, we got to address this elephant in the room. I don't know if you saw it today, but I
How
saw
big is the elephant?
he ginormous. And he been causing the stir since I had Katt Williams on my podcast.
Oh man.
Man,
Uh-huh.
Gil. And the thing is that when he came, I had reached out to Katt last year, and he said he was gonna get to me, and so I just. But in the meantime, I've had Steve Harvey on the pod. I've had Cedric the Entertainer on the pod. I've had Michael Blackston on the pod. Who Ricky Smiley on the pod. And so everybody's with the exception of Steve. Steve didn't really tell any stories about the comedy thing. He just told how he started out in comedy and ended up brand. Steve is really positive now. No matter what you think of, I like Steve. I talk to Steve from time to time. He's been great. He's been great to me, and I can only judge someone by the experience that I have dealing with said person. But when so we make a little small chit chat. We're both getting mic'd up, and so I'm thinking to myself, I got questions. I always set questions, so I set questions for anywhere between 3 hours. I say 3 hours if they got that kind of time, good. But I'm thinking Katt Williams ain't gonna, because he don't really do a whole lot. He doesn't do a whole lot of posting, and he doesn't do a whole lot of sit down. And like he said, I got to feel like I want to. I ain't peddling a product. I'm not selling a book. I don't promote my shows. I gotta feel like I want to come talk to said individual, even though I'm not selling anything. And he told me, he said, "Now you got a great platform." He said, "I love how you let the guests talk, let them share their story. You don't interrupt, blah blah blah." So I'm like, okay, cool, Well, actually, I set the interview for about an hour and a half. That's what I go. But I always have a couple of cards that if we need to go a little longer, I can get some stuff in. So the interview goes 2:46. Now, mind you, I still got questions for another 20, 30 minutes. So we really could have gone over 3 hours. But at that point in time, I'm exhausted. So, I do my interview. Hey, welcome to another edition of Club Shay Shay. I'm your host, also the proprietor, blah, blah, blah. And then I read around his accolades, what he or she has done. And so when you come on, he took a shot. Gil, before I ask one question, he went 30 minutes. So now, as the as the interviewer, I'm going in my head, do I cut him off and get to the line of questioning, or do I let him go?
You let him go.
I said, God, you in control. Take the wheel.
Yeah.
And he went.
I see.
He went.
And that little liquor hit his body.
No, but like he said, he said, I don't need to be motivated. The truth doesn't motivate. He says, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna set the record straight. And he's asking me, say, well, why did you? I say, Katt, I'm assuming when someone comes on my show and they're telling me something that no one else has heard, I'm assuming they're telling me the truth because only said individual was there would know.
Yeah.
So you're asking me, well, why didn't you correct this? Hell, I wasn't on the set, so I couldn't, I'm saying I can't correct it. This is your opportunity to set the record straight. Man.
What's so funny, that happens in a lot of interviewers when they say, why didn't you ask them this? How the fuck I supposed to know?
Exactly.
You should have called in,
right,
and rebutted. But
and I've done as much research as I possibly can. We do our due diligence. We make sure we find as much as we possibly can, and sometimes we're able to find nuggets. And they ask, like, "Who told you this? How did you find this?" Because we do a deep dive, and so my team, CJ, mainly CJ. He does as great a job as he possibly can. And I was like, well, CJ, did you hear about this? And there are some things that I've heard over the years that we ask, and people, they ask, they're like, well, how did you hear this? Where did you get this from? I said, I got my sources too. So we try to make sure that we cover everything and we as thorough as possible. But my thing is, Gil, is that, look, you come to my platform, you talk. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be I had no idea where Katt was going to go. I had the only thing that like I said, he went 30 minutes and I didn't even get a question in. I didn't ask the man where he was from, how old he was, how many brothers and sisters he had. I didn't ask him anything. He just says, this is what's on my mind.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what makes for a great interview sometimes. You know what I mean? Because, he probably listened to that interview and felt some type of way, obviously did. But, it's it's like having, you have the ball in your hand.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He had the ball in his hand.
Yes.
Right? He's making the call. They're coming to him, like he said, I'm getting all these things, and I'm trying to change it. I'm saying I'm not going to do this. Right. I don't want this. I don't want that. Well, how long before they stop asking you to do stuff if you're going to keep denying and trying to change something?
Right.
Right. Before they just move on. So I think the problem is the balls you didn't want, someone else picked them up and became a star with it.
Right.
Right. Now you want to try to diminish the person's stardom. Right. He's a plant. No. He probably was a plant. Now he's a fucking tree. He's a tree now. Right. He's done got his roots into these ground and he's stabilized.
Right.
Right. And I think that's the problem. When he had the ball, I don't think he capitalized the way he wanted to. Genius. What he does is great.
Yeah.
His movie roles, excellent. He plays the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Some of the roles he dodged that he rightfully so. Some movie roles he should have took.
Right.
Right. But that's his decision. He made the decision. Somebody else said, I'll do it.
Right.
And they took off. You can't blame a man for taking a job that you didn't want to take.
No, absolutely not. And I think the thing is that when I told people, I was like, look, out the gate in 24, I said, we're going to break the internet. I said, the guy that I got, I said, the person that I got teed up. Gil, like a lot of times, and I've done over 100 of these just for Club Shay Shay, much more because I used to do a lot of interviews when I was at CBS. And so, and you're like, I think this is going to be really, really, really good. But you don't know because there have been some that I thought I did an excellent job and it didn't get the views, the likes, the mention, and didn't go viral like I thought it would. And I did some I thought it did was okay, but it just took off. But this one I had a sense. And I remember asking, talking to Jordan and talking to CJ and the makeup, and it's like, what you think? And everybody was they were just shaking their head. I was like, what? They're like, you don't get. They're like, Shannon, this is gonna go crazy.
Yeah. I
see. I don't know, because I'm trying to stay in my role as the interviewer and not pick a side. I'm gonna, he says something funny, I'm gonna laugh, but I'm trying to stay as straight and narrow as I possibly can. I'm not trying to push him in any direction. You just go. You just do you, and I'm going to try to follow you wherever you go. And but I'm, if there's something that I think that the audience is going to want to follow up to, I'm going to try to get that in there.
Yeah.
But Gil, I remember walking out, and CJ, the producer of the show, he's like, Shannon, this is going to blow up the internet. I said, you think so? I said, I think it was good. He's like, no, you haven't done anything like this. And it's go crazy.
It's because there's a history, and the guest you had already laid the dominoes up for someone who's saying, wait, hold on, I got the ace cards on all y'all. Hold on. That's not how this played out.
Right.
And he gets to show his trump.
Yeah.
And that's what that was. There were some episodes that I did, and not like this one where someone is getting to trump and make himself like, no, that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
But I had some that after we finished, I said, yo, we're gonna blow. But how does he look at me after this?
Right.
Because sometimes when you're doing an interview and the guy gets so comfortable, he starts saying some things.
Right.
He first.
And that's the thing, Gil. I'm cool with Steve Harvey. I'm cool with Ricky Smiley. I'm cool with Ced the Entertainer. I'm cool with Kevin Hart. I know Michael Blackson a little bit, but I don't know him. I don't have his number. But a lot of the people that Earthquake, Earthquake, my dog. I told her, Quake all the time. Now,
yeah.
he's the guy that I talk to more than any of those guys. But do I have conversations with Steve Harvey? Absolutely. Have I talked to Kevin Hart? Yeah, been to Kev's house, checked his car collection, and just saw him at an event the other night. So I have a personal relationship. I'm not saying we boys, they come to my house and I go to their house, but we have a friendly relationship that we cool. And so my thing is, I'm like, well, that's the hardest part because he's saying things about people. And I'm like, man, I say the best thing for me is just to be Switzerland, stay neutral, ask the questions, and then I'm going to let the viewing audience, I'm not taking a side, I'm going to let the viewing audience take their side. Cedric has already responded. Michael Blackson has responded. I don't know if Katt's going to respond. But it wasn't that Faith, one of our faithfuls said that damn Laportier is true, sir. Katt took one sip. Nah. No, actually, we got, Jordan can tell you, we should have had the cameras rolling when he walked in.
Oh, he was going already. But you know, and I don't think a lot of people really understand, like, when you're coming from the athletic side, you have more integrity, right?
Yeah.
Than just beat writer.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's trying to make their name off of interviews.
Right.
Right. There's somewhere I had to erase whole 20, 30 minutes of rants.
Right.
I'm like, oh no. Like, if you want to do this on your own,
right,
do this on your own. But I'm not gonna put this out and then you look at me and like,
why did you protect me?
Why didn't you protect me?
Yes. And,
right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm like, wow. And so I just hope, and from the looks of it, fans have really liked it. That was our goal, was to try. Look, my goal is always the same, Gil. I try to do the best content I possibly can. I try to get people that I believe, people that subscribe, listen, view, watch, download Club Shay Shay want to hear from. Yeah. And for the most part, I can get one or two stories that they haven't told, or they haven't told in a long time. And if they have told, people don't remember. And so what Katt did, I mean, he did me a solid. I mean, because, you know, I didn't think I was going to be able to get him as soon as I did. I didn't. And at the end of the day, and what I've decided to do, I'm still Club Shay Shay's best booking agent. Yes, I have a company. I got two companies that help, but I'm the best booking agent. So I'm just going to go back to, you know, hey, get on my phone. Hey, bro. Hey, or go to people's DMs.
Yeah. Now, listen, it was a good interview. I mean, there's, you know, this is between them. They all said their piece, and he got to say his, right? That's how this was.
He just happened to be last. You know, the man,
he just happened to be last.
The person that laughed the loudest laughed last. That's the last laugh that you heard.
Yeah.
So
right. And because I follow comedy so much, I know all these guys joke. I know their material. I know, like, that sound like this guy's, right? You know, I used to BET.
Comic View and Def Comedy Jam, absolutely. At the Apollo,
That's all. That's why my humor sounds like the 90s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It sounds like the 90s, that rough, rugged, Corey Holcomb straight at you type of humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So guys where I'm like, man, you should have blown. What happened? Right? You know, so this has been a war for a long time.
Yeah.
With this group.
Right.
With this group. So it's one of those things where, because there's only allowed right now only a few comedians that can be at the top, when you get that spot, the only thing you really can do is try to give parts to everyone else.
Yes.
And I think where Kevin has thrived for himself is when he can't do something, he puts someone else on.
Yeah.
Right. If he can't do something, he puts someone else on.
Right.
And when you was in that position, if you didn't think of that, you can't get mad that he's doing it.
Right.
Right. You just got to, you know what I mean? Because him, you know, Katt and Mike Epps.
Yeah.
They both got the same. They both beefing with the same person. He's just a man on the top, and he's smart enough not to let it go now.
Yeah, that's how I am with my podcast. Is that I'm in a position now, having a media company, and I get an opportunity to try to help someone that want to help themselves.
I know
that want to work, because my whole thing is predicated on hard work and discipline. Now, if you don't bring those things to the table, it's not going to work for you and I. So let's not waste let's not waste your time, and more importantly, let's not waste mine. If you want to work, if you're disciplined, if you want to grow this thing, yes, I'm probably a guy that can help you.
Yeah.
And if I can't, hey, I'll point you in a different direction. Maybe we want different things. Maybe you want X and I can only give you T. But that's okay. Yep. But it was a great interview. I'm glad you guys have received it very, very well. It's doing very, 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 very well on social media. So thank you guys. I want to get that out because you guys were blowing the chat up.